If he's not suffering from dementia, he's suffering from hallucination, because basically what's happening is the deep state, as you know, and the Pentagons are carrying out the war along with the Israelis, and they have already using the artificial intelligence attacking 17,000 targets, which they have finished 9,000 of it.
Also, he did, but that is Trump for you. He keeps on shifting his statements, shifting his goals, his objectives. As you know, they entered into this war without any strategy or any game plan.
Absolutely, he's making the money. I mean, I read American news, and I read about his financial status before he became the president. Even if you know, his assets were around $400 million. Now his asset is $2.5 billion. Is he seriously been following any pressure that could be on him, whether it is domestic, whether it's international, whether it is international law? He is not, doesn't listen to anyone. He will continue when he go and play, golf, sitting with his friend. He will give the order, and these warmongers in his department, like Hickson, like Robrio, they are the one who is guiding the American Pentagon on the attack. But I think he is buying time because Israel wanted him to continue till the Easter break. What worries me now? Maybe they are saying, yes, it can have an exit, but I believe there is something in his mindset. He wanted to do something crazy. Then he will say, I won, I pull out.
Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on the Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket. This is the AI of news, because news in India today requires not artificial but analytical intelligence. We have seen over the past 1 month, since the 28th of February, Donald Trump say a number of things about this war with Iran. He went all out in the beginning, said that they will obliterate Iran, obliterate the leadership in Iran. He then tried to convince the Americans that the leadership has been obliterated, that the ships have been obliterated, that the phone lines, phone connections, network, electricity networks, fuel, everything has been sunk. It's all gone. And Iran is at its weakest. It is no surprise that, yes, Iran was delivered a body blow when Khamenei was assassinated, and certain other leaders as well. However, the truth was not what Trump kept suggesting on Truth Social, his social media platform. The truth was that eventually Donald Trump started talking peace suddenly, because he got no support from NATO, he got very little support from other countries. Because of the American bases in the Gulf nations are facing an attack from Iran. They've been drawn into this battle, and the Strait of Hormuz is still blocked. Cut to 1 month later, you have a situation where every day, Trump begins his day by saying that he will obliterate the leadership in Iran, he will obliterate the electricity network, the fuel network of Iran, and they will have to pay a very heavy price. And come evening, Donald Trump says that I'm willing to come out of this war, even if Strait of Hormuz is not cleared or open for business. What does one make of these statements? Is this just Trump not understanding the seriousness of something like a war? Or is it something even more sinister, where Trump knows exactly what he's doing and he's trying to game the system, game the markets? With each statement that he makes, it has an impact on the markets. Someone somewhere makes money. The allegation is that he himself or his companies may make money and then say something else and make even more money. Is this a case of businessman Trump placing his punt with his statements? Or is he really clueless of which way the war is headed. We discuss. All right, joining us right now is Dr. Waiel Awwad. He's a West Asia strategist and investigative journalist. Thank you very much, Dr. Awwad, for joining us. Donald Trump, in a matter of hours, says something and then says something absolutely contrary to what he has earlier said. Within a span of the last 24 hours, he has vowed to obliterate Iran, strike out the power generation plants in Iran and also the oil hubs in Iran. And in the same breath, he has also said that I would end the war even if the Hormuz continues to be in Iran's control. I want to understand from you, Dr. Awwad, how should one read these comments?
Well, I think I can just echo what the New York Times carried the article a couple of days ago when they were telling him, stop the rhetoric. You have been spending more than 30,000 Twitters every time you carry out something or different. You brought down the American, downgraded American dignity and glorifying America, and the outside becomes so poorly that everybody is ridiculing America as a supreme power after he has come. So I believe if he's not suffering from dementia, he's suffering from hallucination, because basically what's happening is the deep state, as you know, and the Pentagons are carrying out the war along with the Israelis, and they have already using the artificial intelligence attacking 17,000 targets, which they have finished 9,000 of it, and they're continuing bombarding Iran. And he says something that he said, I can make the dollars yo-yo. He can, he makes the announcement, then the stock exchange market raised, then he said, tomorrow I'm invading, then it fall. So I think he is playing at the hand of the billionaire club. And the billionaire clubs, which is making him give different kind of, announcements. So I believe not to take him very serious, but still he bully. He can do any button. He's unpredictable whether this war will end. Seriously, the United States is interested in ending this war at the moment, even if they are interested, by the way. I think the elephant in the room, Israel and Netanyahu, will bomb somewhere in Iran, that they will keep the American in the war along with Israel.
And do you think that has happened each time America has shown signs of ebbing or signs of ending this war? You have had in Israel come in and keep the war alive. If you could also list out over the past 1 month specific instances that come to your mind of when this has happened.
Well, I think before the war, everybody knows that for the last 40 years, Prime Minister of Israel have been trying his level best to drag any American president into a direct confrontation with Iran. And I believe he failed with each president, and every American president is acknowledging, till Trump fall into the trap. And falling on that trap, actually, it has two reasons. One, that he was misinformed by his special envoys. As you know, the special two envoys, the Witkoff and his son-in-law Kushner, when they were discussing in Geneva, and then they told him that there was a breakthrough, but they have given him a wrong information. So he went for a war because they told him the attack from Iran is imminent. This was one. The second part, also the blackmailing of the Israelis, especially with Jeffrey Epstein file, where he has been blackmailed because there are lots of alleged cases against him, and lots of, accusing him of raping underage girls and all this nonsense. So I think what happened is that both the president of the United States and Netanyahu, because of their domestic compulsion, they went for the war, and they had found partners in the crime, and they continue this war. The second one also, when he realized that this war is not in favor of the United States, he never expected that kind of a backfire from Iran and retaliatory measure that they carried out, and they have uninstalled, upturned more than 13 military bases of the United States in the region. They have been attacking, and the loss of the American weapons and American ammunition and infrastructure is totally obliterated from this country. So this is also another way of finding. He tried to come out, and then the message came from the Israelis. He said, I'm ready to pull out, and they reprimanded even Netanyahu. The vice president had a talk with Netanyahu. He told him, it's only, you said, a couple of days, and the war, this will finish. Even President Trump said, You accused me. He accused his own advisor that you people guided me wrongly because of this war with the 3 4 days decapitation, and this is will fall. That has never happened. Then the Strait of Hormuz come, then the global crisis, then the pressure on the United States domestically. All this have made him that everybody telling him find an honorable exit and come out. So the moment he sit down and he tried it through the Arab countries, then the Arab countries been attacked by Iran, so they pulled out. So he found nobody his salvation except the Pakistani to carry his message to them, and the Pakistani tried to rally along with the Arab countries like Turkey, West Asian Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. Until now, it's just talk for talk rhetoric. Yet he also trying with the Chinese now. Even he wanted the Chinese to play a backdoor diplomacy, bring the Iranian to the table and accept the American dictation. America does not want you to negotiate with them these days. They just tell you, this is our list of demand, accept it. You have no other option, or we will continue with the war. So I think these are the messages he's been doing it. And when he tried to pull out after the attack on the nuclear in Iran, he told them that Iran warned him that any attack on the civilian installation, like water, like energy, like Kharg Island, you do it, we will attack all the American military bases in the region, plus the American universities, plus the interest of everybody. So he also withheld that attack, and he gave you 2 days, 48 hours, then 5 days after he got 20 oil ships siphoned out of the Strait of Hormuz, as a good gesture. And then he gave another 10 days. I think he is buying time because Israel wanted him to continue till the Easter break. What worries me now? Maybe they are saying, yes, it can have an exit. But I believe there is something in his mindset. He wanted to do something crazy. Then he will say, I won, I pull out.
Dr. Awwad, see, diplomatically speaking, and as the representative of most powerful country in the world, his statements do come across as confused, as weak. But if you look at Trump as a businessman, are you trying to accuse him of gaming the markets, whereas he, either directly or through his associates and cronies who are perhaps close to him, making money, benefit from these statements and utterances? So he may come across as foolish diplomatically, but he's raking in the money.
Absolutely, he's making the money. I mean, I read American news, and I read about his financial status before he became the president. Even if you know, his assets were around $400 million. Now his asset is $2.5 billion. I don't think he was selling dhaba, he was selling tea, or he found a jar full of gold that he made it. He made it from the billionaire club. They are sitting across the table. He's telling you, I will bomb Iran for the sake of fun. Look at the president giving this rhetoric. I mean, it doesn't mean what? That means I tell you, I pay you money, okay, you go and get. So become a rented army rather than an America, a support power, leading and taking the supreme leadership in this world. He's making murky of the American foreign policy by every time making different announcements. So I believe that he himself is dragging the American economy down. Look at the American, even in their oil and all the fuel. And I'm talking to my American friends in the United States, and they're telling me it's become so hard on us. We are unable to buy the oil. It's so expensive. There are lots of food items also become expensive. American, the largest demonstration in the United States, were against him. So the man is, I don't know, is he seriously been following any pressure that could be on him, whether it is domestic, whether it's international, whether it is international law? He is not, doesn't listen to anyone. He will continue when he go and play, golf, sitting with his friend. He will give the order, and these warmongers in his department, like Hickson, like Robrio, they are the one who is guiding the American Pentagon on the attack. But tomorrow he's saying he's going for a foot on the ground. I mean, he does not understand the strategy of the military, but he's having the bottom and he's pressing it. And artificial intelligence sitting in California, New Jersey, or in Tel Aviv, press the button and let the American warship start. So he is playing for sure. And if you look at the sole beneficiaries of this war, who is benefiting, by the way, It is the American oil company, it is the American arm industry, it's the American insurance company, and the rest of the world is bleeding.
Dr. Awad, it's been over a month now since this war is on. It shows no signs of ending because there are favorable comments and then later you see attacks. And this is a cycle which is happening over and over and over again. Frankly, I now don't find it surprising that somebody talks about ending the war and then the war continues. So, in your wisdom, what do you think is going to be the fallout of all of this? From Iran's point of view, has Iran seen through this game? How are they preparing? And when will this end, according to you, and how?
Well, before I give you the scenarios which could be seen of the outcome of this war, I mean, it is unpredictable for sure. But let's remember that Iran is in a defensive way of defending its own territories, defending its own self against the aggression. It's a violation of international law, international human rights. And this was illegal, illegitimate war. Everybody is saying it openly. Now, even Americans themselves are accusing their president, even the Israeli accusing their prime minister, yet the war is on. Yeah. So now America wanted to win. This is the only game in the world where everybody wants to be a winner. And for America to be a winner, they have to win this war so the dollar dominance will stay in the market. And there is Iran as a threatening power will be out. He will have a capture the Iranian oil, which is the third largest in the world, and then he will have the Venezuelan, the Iranian, tomorrow he will go to Greenland, then he will go to Algeria, then Nigeria, name it, whoever having the oil, he will control. Plus the passage of the oil, which has come through the Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, and Red Sea, they will be under the American control. So he will make Asia bleed, and he will blackmail those strong economy and emerging economy in Asia by the American. This is one of the issues where American wanted to be. For Israel, actually, the main objective is to remove a threatening regional power for its own expansion policy. Look at what's happening in Lebanon, in Syria, in Palestine. They're even threatening Jordan now, and even Iraq. So for Israel, any country that can threaten its own security or own expansion policy has to be removed. And Iran is number one, tomorrow Turkey, then Egypt, then Saudi Arabia. That's the plan. And once this plan is implemented, that means they will continue wars. There is nothing going to stop. So for for Israel at the moment, it has to be a continuous war till they destroy Iran totally, from infrastructure to ballistic missile technology to nuclear issues, even to kill their scientists, that they have replica of what they have done in Iraq. That is the game plan. But do anybody talk what's happening in Syria or in Lebanon or in Gaza? West Bank territory has been annexed. People are being expelled. Even the Christians, Patriarch was denied entry into Jerusalem. Not only Muslim, it's a Christian. So they wanted to make it a Jew state only, which means they're going in Lebanon under the pretext of breaking the Islamic resistance forces in Lebanon, Hezbollah and the rest. And they wanted to occupy the Litani River, where they are saying where the water is coming. So Israel, like they did in Golan annexation, they want to do the same thing in Lebanon. Even Netanyahu yesterday, he was saying, now I am thinking of expanding the territory where Israel will occupy, which will include Yarmouk, part of Syria. That means he's openly saying, I am expanding under the pretext of terrorism, security issues, blah, blah, blah. But the game plan is the same, greater Israel from you first tonight. So that is the policy they're trying to do. For Iran does not know the word surrender. They wanted to defend their territories. They wanted to make sure that the American and the Israeli pay a price for attacking a regional power. And they wanted them to compensate if and the war goes in their favor. So they have the land, they have the self-sufficient weapon and everything in Iran. Independent state is the only unique country in the world. And also they have the power and the history that they can fight as much as the American want, unless and until Israel and the United States use unconventional way or unconventional method of attacking Iran by a dirty bomb or something that they can use. Iran, very difficult to break and very difficult to succeed in any war from the sky unless you have boots on the ground. So the situation is very volatile. Arab countries are at the edge of joining hand with the American against Iran, which they have been resisting for so far because America wants you to pay the money. war, and also they wanted to have a direct confrontation, ultimatum Sunni Shia fight, where they wanted to achieve the goal, and they pull out. Israel will expand, America exit, thrift, and because trillions of dollars gone from the Arab country again. So I think the scenario, everybody is benefiting from this war. The sole loser in this war is the Arab country and the Arab world and the people.
All right, Dr. Waiel Awwad, thank you so much for your time. Joining
Yeah.
us right now is Ambassador Anil Trigunayat. Thank you very much, Ambassador Trigunayat, for joining us.
Thank you.
My question to you, as I was asking Dr. Waiel Awwad just a short while ago, is the absolutely contrasting utterances of Donald Trump. In one day, we have seen over the past 1 month, over and over again, where he has spoken about peace, he has spoken about ending the war, and then he has also spoken about engaging in the war, escalating the war. Now, many people say that this is just businessman Trump gaming and shorting the markets and making lots and lots of money. What is your view?
Well, that also he did, but that is Trump for you. He keeps on shifting his statements, shifting his goals, his objectives. As you know, they entered into this war without any strategy or any game plan, or at least they had no exit strategy. Once they went in and they could destroy as much as they could, they have been decapitating a lot of leadership of Iran, but that has not really deterred Iran from pursuing what it considers as its survival today. And therefore, President Trump now is looking for some kind of either a diplomacy, diplomatic deal, or just like wants to abdicate and leave because he wants to put all the onus for that on all his friends from the region or from outside or NATO allies who have not supported because he said that Strait of Hormuz doesn't matter to me. So that's why we see all kinds of these statements because that reflects the utter confusion of the situation. No doubt. I mean, there was a couple of days back when he said that there will be peace, there will be some kind of a diplomatic solution. Then naturally the markets sustained, and apparently some of his companies also made a lot of money and some other. So that is also very much there. But today, in fact, and I think Pete Hegseth will be talking once again and telling us what they are intending to do really going forward. While discussions, some kind of a discussions are going on, we also believe that there could be a possibility of them retracting as well. At the same time, they are also brought in about 40, 50,000 troops in the region and are thinking of capturing a couple of islands like the Kharg Island or maybe the Abu Musa for the UAE. They could do that. And now they are asking the Gulf countries to pay up for their own security. While throughout last 40, 50 years, these countries have been paying through their nose for their security, which has not really kept them secured. So I think that now the situation is extremely difficult for these countries. But let us say, unfortunately, if they continue for the war going forward, if war escalates and conflagration moves beyond, then we will be looking at a very, very disastrous situation.
Uh, Now, you say that the situation is going to be disastrous. Uh, as we discussed, it begins the day with peace, ends the day with war, and this cycle just continues over and over again. And the sort of words that are used publicly don't behoove of the office he holds. However, I just want to know from you what this means for any effort of de-escalation. You think anyone would be able to trust statements and utterances and the intention of America if statements like these keep coming in?
Well, if, of course, it's not possible to. It's not only the statements, Sanket. The thing is that we have to look at what happened in June. I mean, there was this attack when 6 rounds of negotiations between Iran and USA were going on. They had arrived nearly to some kind of an agreement. And then now in February or 27th, the Omani foreign minister was so upbeat about it, and they thought that they have arrived, and the Iranians had given up a lot of leeway to President Trump's team. But then the following day, 28th, you have the bombings done. So the problem here is there are three actors. There are not only two actors. And the third actor, which is Israel, is also an extremely important and potent actor, which knows what it wants. Everybody else is not that clear about the objectives of the war. But Israel is one country that knows what it wants, and it is the one who has also nudged and pushed Trump into it through intelligence. That now, yesterday, I think Netanyahu said that Iranians want to kill Trump. So, those are the kind of things that are continuing, and that has led President Trump into a very naive way to get into this intractable war.
And according to you, how does it end?
Well, in my view, it should end. And knowing President Trump, that he might just decide, he said, call it quits because he's not getting any support from any other quarters. Where military support or the physical support, even countries like Spain have stopped providing any air access to them also. So there are ruptures in these countries, in their friends. So he might just decide. Plus, it is having a bad impact domestically for Trump. His MAGA constituency is not happy about it, and we know that JD Vance said that we'll be out of there very soon. So there are all kinds of situations. This is one way of ending it. Second way of ending it, it will escalate much way beyond. Americans, with the help of some other countries, might get in there, and if they get in, you will have a civil war kind of a situation and a guerrilla warfare. So then you are looking at Iraq, you are looking at Libya, you are looking at other kind of situations, which the Iranians for sure don't want it. They also are looking for an opening, but that opening has to be, in a way, in their way, their words, has to be dignified. It cannot be something that can be dictated or could be an abject surrender.
All right, Ambassador Trigunayat, thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time, sir.